Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. A Luna's Journey from Servitude to Strength. Episode 11. Chapter 78. Catalina's POV. Dolus, I presume. I say. Andrew stands up and walks over to the bars. He bows. At your service, High Alpha. He smirks as his eyes meet mine. I want to offer you a deal, Dolus. With this news his smirk grew. It creeped me out, to be honest. Well, why don't you let me out of here and we can talk about this deal? He says as he rests his forearms on the bars. You can hear my offer just fine in the cell. I say sternly. Very well. Let's hear this offer. We would like to offer you your true form. I say. He stares at me for a moment. How can you offer me this? He asks. The Moon Goddess. I say. He crosses his arms in front of me. His face more serious now. I definitely have his attention. You know, someone else has offered me this. He says. Who? I ask. He smirks at me. I never kiss and tell. He mocks. In exchange for what? I ask. Well, for her suffering, of course. It seems you picked a fight with someone very powerful. He says. We can give you what you desire sooner. Who knows how long they will want me to suffer? And let me guess, in exchange I leave your poor maid alone. He mocks. No, he raises an eyebrow at me. I know your target is me. So in exchange for all of us. I say. Intriguing. He says. And to make sure you hold up to your end, it's to be agreed on in the Serpent's deal. Lilith adds. His smile returns. That's some powerful magic. I will be honest with you ladies, and this doesn't happen often, this deal sounds perfect. Just one problem. What is that? I ask. I fear I might have messed this one up too much. If you pull me out, there's no telling how he'll be. And once I'm out, there's no going back. Why is he telling us this? Why would he care? It's a risk I'm willing to take. I say. Fine then. He says. You'll agree to the deal? I ask. Yes. But be very careful on the wording. I can't be held responsible for any loophole I find. He says. I nod and we turn to leave. Oh, and Lena. You might want to ask your goddess why you couldn't wake up from your little nap. I'm sure it's for a very good reason. He says sarcastically. I wanted to turn around and ask more questions, but Lilith kept me moving. It was probably for the better. Kelani already told me why I was asleep. It was because of him, right? He's just trying to start something, Lena. Lilith says as we make our way away from the cells. I know. I don't say too convincingly. We got him to agree to the deal. Now we just need to be sure on the wording, and once my sisters arrive we will get your maid back. Lilith sounds triumphant. When do they arrive? I ask. Tomorrow evening. She says as we reach the elevator. Could we really be getting Andrew back by tomorrow? We make it back to my apartment and are met with Jet sitting at the table. Hey Jet! I say, entering. Lena. How are you feeling? Where were you? Jet asks standing from the table. I went to see Andrew. I say as I walk over to the table. I'm sore but I feel a lot better. I add. I could tell Jet wanted to say more but he clenched his jaw. Thank you Lilith for coming with me. But could I have a moment with Jet? I say to Lilith. She nods. I will come back later and we can go over the deal. She says. Jet and I stand in silence as we wait for Lilith to leave the room. Once she was gone I could feel the uncomfortable air in the room. Jet, what is going on? I ask taking a seat at the table. Jet takes a deep sigh and sits back down. I'm worried about you Lena. He says. I'm fine Jet. Why are you worried? I ask. Lena, until a few days ago you were in a coma. No one knew if you were going to wake up. Andrew tried to kill you. I had to save your life from your mate. He tells me. I sigh. Jet, I appreciate all you did while I was asleep. I could not ask for a better beta. I say. Lena, I care about you and you need to be careful. These last few months have shown me we won't be able to make it without you. All the packs need you Lena. He says. He's right, I'm not just Andrew's mate. I'm the high alpha, to all packs. I know Jet. We have a plan to get Andrew back. I will be careful. Besides, I have you to look out for me. I say with a smile. He smiles back. Right, now tell me this plan. He asks. Flashback 1 month ago Andrew's POV. I'm laying in my bed unable to sleep again. I can't go visit Lena until 7 AM because of these stupid visiting hours. You are the alpha. How dare they try and control you? They think you are weak. Lena is the true alpha. No one will ever take you serious as long as she is around. The deep voice in my head says. Shut up. She is my mate. I shout. Be careful Alpha. You are talking to yourself. People might think you have lost your mind. The voice laughs at me. Am I losing my mind? Lena must be killed. Then you can lead your pack in complete and total authority. Leave me alone. I shout. The voice has become stronger over the last week. I find that I lose time too. What is happening to me? I toss and turn in my bed. Lena, come back. I need you. There was a knock on the door. Come in. I shout. Murphy peeks his head through the door. Hey man. He says cautiously and steps inside the room. What is Murphy? I say a bit too sharply. Man, what is going on with you? You aren't sleeping or eating. You are getting angry and aggressive. He asks. He won't believe you. He'll think you're crazy. The voice in my head says. Shut up. I say out loud. Murphy looks at me offended. Murphy, not you. This voice in my head. I slam my hand to the side of my head. What are you talking about? Murphy asks. He'll think you've lost your mind. How can you ever be a leader in his eyes? He has Lena, he won't need you. The voice says. Leave me alone. I growl. Murphy jumps back and puts his hands up in surrender. Andrew, man, calm down. I'll leave. Just calm down. Murphy says, backing away. Murphy, wait. I'm sorry. It's not you. It's this voice in my head. Andrew, you need to pull yourself together. Lena is going to need you when she wakes up. You don't need her. You have me now. Let me show you. The voice says. I feel him push me to the back of my mind, like how my wolf can, but I can't stop him. I'm weak from not sleeping and not eating right for the past 2 months. This time I'm aware of what he's doing. I lunge at Murphy and slam him into the wall with my forearm pressing into his neck. Murphy claws at my arm. I pull back and then slam his head back to the wall. I grab Murphy by his shirt and fling him to the other side of the room. I make my way out of bedroom and towards the elevator. This thing has control over me and there's nothing I can do. He's going to the hospital. I try to take back control but I can't, he's too strong. Stop this. I say, but he just laughs. I'm doing you a favor. He says. He reaches the hospital. The nurse behind the front desk spots me and comes around her desk to stand in front of me. Alpha, I'm sorry but visiting hours haven't started yet. She says. He backhands her and she is thrown into the wall behind her. She drops to the floor. Stop this right now. I shout. The voice just laughs. Another nurse comes out into the hall to check on the noise. Alpha, Andrew. She looks surprised. Her eyes look at the nurse on the floor and back at me. She starts to back away slowly to the room she just came out of. He rushes towards her. She panics and lets out a scream. She was able to get into the room and close the door. He bangs on the door. Let me in, little nurse. He says. There is a small window on the door. Her eyes stare into me. He bangs and bangs on the glass until it breaks. When the glass breaks, she screams and frantically looks around the room for an escape or a weapon. There isn't much in this empty room, only a bed, chair, and a serving tray. He reaches his arm through the now hole in the door for the lock. She picks up the serving tray and swings it at his arm. She manages to hit him, but he was also able to unlock the door. He busts through the door and tosses her body at the window. The glass doesn't break open, but cracks it. Her body falls to the floor. Now where is our mate? The voice says. He's going to kill Lena and there is nothing I can do to stop him. And he's going to make me watch. Catalina's POV. I told Jet, Rachel, Murphy the plan on how to get Andrew back over lunch. Murphy of course was the one who brought the food. This sounds like a good plan. Rachel says. What do we know about this serpent's deal? Everyone makes it sound powerful. Jet asks. Honestly, not much. Lilith and I will be going over the verbiage tonight for the spell tomorrow. Well, I know we all want to be there for that, Lena. Murphy says with his mouth full. Rachel nudges him. Of course. I'm sure Andrew would love you all there. I smile at all of them. I'm pumped. We're going to get our boy back. Murphy says, proud. Then we can get back to doing the most important thing. Rachel says. I look at her confused. What's that? I ask. Planning your wedding day. Oh, we have so many things to take care of now that the war is over and you are awake. Rachel says with excitement. I completely was not thinking about that. Let's just focus on getting Andrew back. Then we can make all the plans you want to. I say. I can see Rachel physically vibrating with excitement. She shakes Murphy's arm, which makes him drop his slice of pizza. Rachel, please. He says, trying not to sound annoyed. Then there was a knock on the door. Jed gets up and answers the door. It's the doctor, Raymond, and Gamma Lucas. Hello, gentlemen. I say. Lena, I am here to change your bandages and to check your healing progress. How are you feeling? The doctor asks. I'm a bit sore, but I can walk around. I'm feeling a lot better. I tell him. Good, let's go somewhere private so I can check on you. He says. I get up and head to the bedroom. I carefully take my dress off and lay down on the bed. The doctor removes the bandage on my side first. Looks like you are healing very well. By tomorrow you won't even need these bandages. He says as he applies healing ointment and a fresh bandage. He removes the bandage from my shoulder and repeats the process. I will come back tomorrow to remove the bandages. You should be all healed by then. Hi Alpha. Thank you, doctor. We are all very glad you have awoken from your coma, and you are healing up fast. The doctor says. I pull my dress back on and we make our way back out to the group. The doctor tells everyone my progress before leaving. Glad to hear you are doing much better. I'm also glad to hear you have a plan for getting Andrew back. Raymond says. Yes, Lilith should be here later this evening for us to go over verbiage. We could use your help if you are free. I say to him. I would be happy to help. Raymond says. We spend the next few hours chatting and waiting for Lilith to come back. Lilith shows up after dinner and we all get to working on what we want the deal to say. We needed to be sure to include everyone and any way Dolus could be involved. We need to make sure once we make Dolus a god he can't use his powers against us in any way. What is so special about this kind of deal? Rachel asks. It is special because of its power. If this deal is broken, I can kill even a god. Lilith says. It's the only one this powerful. She adds. Well, that explains why we are using it. Will you have enough power? Raymond asks. Yes, I have 4 of my sisters coming. We will be powerful enough. Lilith explains. We plan into the late hours, until I start to grow tired. Guys, I'm going to have to go to bed. I say. She is right. We all need our rest. Tomorrow is a big day. Lilith says. Everyone nods in agreement and wishes me good night as they leave. I get ready for bed and tuck myself in. Sleep happens quickly and before I know it's morning. I feel the light coming into my room and I hear someone in the kitchen. Without fully waking I think it's Andrew and smile. But then I remember Andrew is in a cell. I miss him so much. I hate sleeping without him. So who is in my kitchen? I get up from bed and get dressed. To my surprise I find Flora in the kitchen making breakfast. Good dear, you're up. Would you like some coffee? She asks. Absolutely. I say, making my way over to her. I'm making some eggs and sausage. A nice breakfast for us. She says so sweetly. I feel like I haven't spent much time with her. The only real time I spent with her was when we were planning the mating ceremony. After that it was just me surrounded by alphas, because I am an alpha. I never had to do Luna training because I was never a Luna. Interesting. Penny for your thoughts, dear. She looks over at me. I was just thinking we haven't spent much time together. Then I was thinking about how I'm not much of a Luna. She stops cooking. Oh, you are much more than a Luna. Do you think this pack is missing that part? I ask. I think Rachel will fill that spot nicely. In all honesty, dear, being a Luna isn't about hosting parties or making things look nice. It's about being there for the pack. It's about supporting the alpha, giving counsel, and putting their needs above your own. You have done that since you first got here. She pats my hand. Being high alpha is going to be a challenge, dear. Every time a new alpha comes you will have to prove yourself. Men are more fragile than you think. But if anyone can do it, I know you can. You need to think about what you are going to do with Blood Moon Pack. She says as she goes back to the eggs. I have a plan for that pack. I say. She lifts an eyebrow to me. Just not yet. I need Andrew back first. I add. She nods in approval. Have a seat, breakfast is almost ready. She tells me. I take a seat at the table and look out the window. It looks like a rainy day ahead. Flora and I had breakfast together. We chatted some more before Raymond, Lilith, her sisters, Rachel, Murphy, and Jet showed up. Well, dear, you are in good hands now. I will talk to you later. Flora says before leaving. So are we ready to get our boy back? Murphy asks. Everyone nods. Do we need Kelani with us? Rachel asked. Yes, I'll try and call on her. I say. I close my eyes and think of our connection and focus. When I open my eyes, Kelani is there. Are we ready? I ask her. Yes. The moon goddess will be called once he agrees to the terms of the deal. She says. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's do this. Murphy says with excitement. Let's do this. Flashback 1 month ago, Andrew's POV. Leave Lena alone. I tell him. Andrew, you need this. You will waste away to nothing because of her. The deep voice says. He's walking down the hall checking in every room for her. Please. Don't do this. I start to beg and fight for control. Stop fighting me. He snaps. He comes to her room and I see her laying in bed asleep. Stop right now. I yell, but he doesn't. He walks over to the side of her bed. All this fuss over this small female. I will never understand. He says. He wraps his hand around her throat and squeezes. I try everything I can think of to regain control, but nothing works. Stop it. Stop it. Don't do this. I repeat over and over. Then suddenly I feel something large hit my side and I am sent flying across the room. My body is slammed into the wall and there is a hand on my throat. It's Jet. I'm never been so happy to see Jet before. He is fuming mad. What is wrong with you? He growls. She has to die. He says. Jet growls again. You have lost your mind. Jet squeezes my throat. Would Jet kill me for Lena? A part of me wishes he would. I wouldn't be able to hurt Lena if I were dead. I felt a sudden prick in my arm and looked over to see the doctor injecting me with something. Suddenly the room went dark and I fell unconscious. Catalina's POV. We make our way down to Andrew's cell. Andrew is sitting up waiting for us. I hate this spirit inside him. Looking at my mate, but knowing it's not him looking back. We all stopped in front of his cell. Andrew looks malnourished and he looks different. His eyes are empty. So are we back for the deal, or to kill me? I'm fine either way. The deep voice coming from Andrew says. We have come with a deal. I say shortly. Andrew stands and walks over to the door of the cell. Let's hear the deal. He says, leaning up against the bars. I want to offer you your physical form. In exchange for leaving the body of my mate unharmed, leaving all werewolves, fays, witches, and anyone I care about unharmed. Unharmed both mentally and physically. Unharmed by you directly or indirectly. If you break the deal, you will lose your physical form and your spirit will pass over and will die. I say. There is a long silence as we all wait for his response. He lets out a sigh. Very well, I agree. He finally says. Really? I ask surprised. You were specific with your words, and all I really want is my physical form. But I will say, I can't undo what I have done to this wolf, but I can agree to do no further harm. He explains. My heart breaks for Andrew. My poor mate, what will he be like after this is all over? I look around at everyone and I can tell they are thinking the same thing. I nod at Dolus. Very well. I turn to Lilith. We'll do the spell. I say. Jet opens the cell and the witches step in. They begin to set up. I step in the cell too. I can feel Dolus' eyes on me. Lilith and her sisters are drawing things on the ground, lighting candles, and preparing for the spell. Dolus walks over to me. What is it about you? He asks. I'm surprised by his question. What do you mean? I ask. I was sent here by Zeus. You made a powerful enemy, little wolf. He wanted you to join him. But you refused. Who wouldn't want to be a god? Apparently that one person would be you. Now in this form, your mate is fighting me. He fights for you. Why? What is so special about you? He asks. He's my mate. We fight for each other. I say, trying not to make eye contact. Looking at him and knowing he's not Andrew. True, but there's definitely a power in you and everyone can feel it. Everyone here would die to protect you, I can feel it. He says. I can feel the vibrations in my body from his voice. I am everyone's alpha. They trust me with their lives, and I trust them with mine. I say. Does he know you are immortal? He asks. What? He will grow old and die, while you will not. He says. What? Can that be true? Are we almost ready? I ask Lilith. Almost. Go ahead and stand over at the table. You too. She says to me and Dolus. I walk over to where one of her sisters was setting up a book, some candles, and a cup. We never walked step by step through the spell, it's all happened so fast, but Dolus seems to know the spell. I wonder if he's done it before. Maybe that's how he's ended up being a spirit? We are just about ready. Lena, I need you to stand on the other side of the table, across from Dolus. Lilith says. I walk around the table and face Dolus. Lilith places the cup in between us. Then all the witches circle us as Lilith hands us a knife. She leans to me, cut your hand and drip blood into the cup. Lilith whispers. Dolus, knowing what to do, cuts his hand over the cup. His blood drips into the cup and he hands me the knife. I take the knife and cut my palm. Dolus makes a fist with his hand and moves it away from the cup. I place my cut hand over the cup, my blood drips into it. One of the witches comes and takes the cup and pours something into it. She hands the cup to Dolus and he takes a sip. Then she brings it to me. Do I have to drink this? I just do it quickly before I have time to think about it. Then all the witches drink from it. The witches start chanting something around Dolus and I. The flames of the candles burn higher. Their chanting gets louder and they begin rocking back and forth. Suddenly the candles blow out and the chanting stops. The deal is made. Lilith says. The moon goddess appears in the room. Moon goddess. I hear someone in the room say. I am here you give you, your physical form. The moon goddess says to Dolus. He grins and nods. She waves her hand and Andrew's body starts to glow. Once you release yourself from his body, you will have your body. She says. Andrew's body started to glow brighter. I cover my eyes when it grows too bright to look at, then suddenly it stops. When I looked back I see Andrew on the ground and another man standing in front of me. He has very dark hair and pale skin and bright green eyes. It's so nice to be whole again. I will hold up to our deal. But a fair warning, I was never really after you High Alpha. He says to me. I was after her. He points to the moon goddess. Be careful goddess. I'm not the only one who was sent. Dolus says. I have a feeling I will be seeing you again. He winks at me, and then vanishes. I rush over to Andrew to see if he's breathing. Andrew. I whisper. I place his head in my lap. He's breathing. We need to take him to the hospital. I say. Raymond, Jet, and Gamma Lucas help carry Andrew to the hospital. When we get to the hospital they put him in a bed, and the doctors look him over. He looks skinny and pale. I'm so worried about the damage already done to him. The doctors hook him up to machines and one of them puts soft restraints on him. What are you doing? I ask. They are just for precaution. He says. Precaution for what? I say a little too sharply. We don't know what he'll wake up like. The doctor says. Come on Andrew, wake up and be normal, please. He's very weak. He needs some time to recover. He should wake up in a day or two. The doctor says. The doctor leaves the room. Raymond and I stay by Andrew's bedside. I don't even notice everyone else leaving the room. I just sit there holding Andrew's hand. Wake up Andrew, I need you. Flashback 1 month ago Jet's POV. I'm sitting in the Lena's office when Murphy bursts through the door. He looks injured and I rush over to him. What happened? Do we have intruders? I ask. No, it's Andrew. What? I ask, helping him to a chair. Andrew attacked me. I'm worried he's going to attack someone else. Murphy says. All right. I'll go find him. Just rest here. I say and head out the door. Where could he be? Maybe he was upset about the visiting hours for Lena? I'll go check on her first and see if he's there. I head to the hospital. When I walk through the front door, I see a nurse on the ground. I rush over to her to see if she is breathing. She is, thank goodness, but she's not waking up. I get up and run towards Lena's room. On my way, I come across one of the doctors. Jet, Andrew has lost it. The doctor says. Doc, get something that will knock him out. I'll restrain him. And hurry. I say. The doctor hurries away and I head for Lena's room. When I get to her room, I see Andrew standing next to her bed with his hand around her throat. Rage fills me and I see red. I bust through the door and run at him with all my strength. I slammed him into the wall. What do you think you are doing? I growl at him. He tries to get free from my hold and I just dig in harder. The doctor comes in and sticks a syringe in his arm. Moments later he passes out on the floor. What has gotten into him? What is wrong with him? The doctor asks me. I don't know, I say. What should we do with him? He asks. I hate to say it, but I think we should put him in a cell. I say. I can't believe I'm even suggesting this. I think you might be right. Raymond says from the doorway. Andrew's POV, being a spectator in my own mind, is its own kind of prison. Seeing Lena being awake and not being able to talk to her or hold her crushes me. You will be with her soon enough. I have a feeling she's coming up with a way to save you. The deep voice in my head says. I sit in the back of my mind watching him live my life. He has stopped torturing me, but he still won't let me have control. I watch Lena, my father, and everyone else come to the cell. I hear them talk, but I'm not completely sure what is said. I see the cell door open and people come in, including Lena. There seems to be a lot of movement in the cell. What is it about you? I hear the deep voice ask Lena. What do you mean? She says, surprised. I was sent here by Zeus. You made a powerful enemy, little wolf. He wanted you to join him. But you refused. Who wouldn't want to be a god? Apparently that one person would be you. Now in this form, your mate is fighting me. He fights for you. Why? What is so special about you? He asks her. He's my mate. We fight for each other. She says. That's right, I will fight for you, Lena. True, but there's definitely a power in you and everyone can feel it. Everyone here would die to protect you, I can feel it. He says. What is he getting at? I am everyone's alpha. They trust me with their lives, and I trust them with mine. She says, does he know you are immortal? He asks. She's what? Did he say immortal? What? She asks. He will grow old and die, while you will not. He says. Is that true? Is that because she is a phoenix? While I'm thinking about the conversation Lena and Dolus just had, they get into position and start some spell. Once the spell was over, the moon goddess appears. Enjoy her while you have her, wolf. the voice says to me before everything goes black. When I open my eyes, the light in the room is too bright. I try and move my hand to cover my eyes, but they are being held down. I start to panic when I hear the sweetest voice. Hey, hey, it's okay. I hear Lena say. I squint my eyes and look over at her. Lena. My voice is dry and scratchy. Yet it's me. Just rest. She coos at me. I turn my head in her direction, then I see her. Her beautiful red hair and her eyes. The eyes I fell in love with. Her smile and her smell. My body relaxed when I felt her take my hand. I must have fallen asleep again. When I opened my eyes this time, the light was much softer. I looked around the room and saw my father in the chair next to the bed. I moved and his eyes met mine. Andrew. He says. Hey Dad. I say. My voice still dry. He gets up and grabs me a cup of water with a straw. I try and move my hands to take the cup, but they are restrained. I take a sip. Thanks. I say. Why am I restrained? I ask. The doctors did it as a precaution. He says. Oh Andrew, I'm so glad you are awake. How are you feeling? He asks, trying to change the subject. I feel really tired and weak. But other than that, all right. I say. Where's Lena? I ask. She'll be right back. I sent her to go get something to eat. He says as he sits back down. I notice for the first time how much older my dad looks. His once salt and pepper hair is now more salt than pepper. He looks tired too. I'm sure the late year has really put stress on him and it's showing. Dad, are you okay? I ask. He smiles at me. I'm getting there. He pats my hand. How long has it been, Dad? I ask. Oh, you were only asleep a few days. He says. I mean, how long was that thing controlling me? How long was I in that cell? I ask. About a month. Then Lena woke up and she figured out a way to get you back. He explains. Dad, could Lena be immortal? I ask. Well, she can't die, son. So by definition, yes. He says. So she won't grow old? I ask. Now that I'm not sure of. There's a lot about phoenixes we don't know. It's quite possible. He says. Just then I can smell Lena. Her scent fills the room before she enters. She walks in and my eyes meet hers. You're awake, she says as she walks to my bedside. She takes my hand in hers. I will leave you too. It's good to have you both back. My dad says as he leaves the room. I missed you so much. She says. I missed you too. I try to move my hand but remember it's restrained. These stupid things. She says and unlatches my hands. I take her face in my hands and look into her eyes. Do we have anyone else to fight? I ask her. She giggles. No, she says. Do we have anything else we have to overcome? I ask. Nope. She says. Thank Goddess. I pull her face to mine and our lips collide. I feel the tingles of our mate bond. I have missed her. I have missed the way she smells, her taste, her touch. We pull our lips apart and she rests her forehead on mine. We have so much time to make up for, she says. I move over and make room for her in the bed. We have all the time in the world, I say as she climbs in next to me. We spent the next few hours just being in each other's company. We didn't talk much, but we didn't mean to. I had my mate and nothing stood in our way. We eventually fell asleep in each other's arms. The next morning we were awakened with a squeal. Oh no! Lena says. What is that? I ask. That is Rachel. Why is she squealing? Because I might have told her she can plan our wedding as soon as we get you back. She throws the blanket over her head in an attempt to hide. Does she have to do it right now? And I haven't even asked you to marry me, I say. She pokes her head out from under the blanket and glares at me. Yet. I haven't asked you yet, I say quickly. Her face softens. Rachel comes into the room like a gust of wind. She is carrying binders and bags with her that she tosses on the empty chair by the bed. Andrew, Lena. I am so glad you are both alive and okay. Because now we get to plan the most exciting day of your lives. Rachel squeals again. There are no more alphas, war, or gods to get in the way of this, she adds triumphantly. Lena, come out from under there. We can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way. Lena peeks her head out again. Rach, I've had Andrew for like 1 day. Can't we just enjoy this? She whines. No. I'm not going to allow something else to come out of nowhere and distract us from a beautiful moment we all deserve to have. Rachel literally stomped her foot at this. He hasn't even asked me, Lena says. Oh please, like he's not going to ask you. Rachel scoffs. We are planning this. You better plan how you are going to ask her. And besides, you will be in here for a few days. What better way to spend your time? She adds. This will be the worst torture I will ever face, I say, getting a giggle out of Lena and a glare from Rachel. Rachel spends the next few hours making us pick color themes, guest lists, venues, and food options. I tried to mind link Murphy to come and get Rachel, but he pretended to be going through a tunnel and to have a bad signal. I will get him back for this. Finally, I convinced her to have a meeting with my mom and her mom to help organize and plan. Our next task is to pick a date, but it doesn't feel right, since I haven't officially asked her yet. I need to get out of this bed. Alpha, so good to see you. The doctor says, coming into the room. Is that scary girl with binders gone? He asks, looking around the room. Yes, Rachel is gone, I say, laughing. Oh good. She threatened a nurse to not disturb you all, he said, coming to the side of the bed. So how are we feeling today? He asks. A lot better than yesterday. But to be honest, still a bit weak, I tell him. It's to be expected. You barely ate, slept, or did much of anything for 3 months. Your body needs time to regain muscle and store up energy. You'll be back on your feet in no time, he says. How long do I need to stay in here? I ask. You've only been awake 1 day. We'll test you today and tomorrow we can test again to see your improvement. But I don't think it will be more than a few days, he explains. I'll be back in a bit so we can test you. The doctor leaves the room. See, just a few days. And I'll be here. Lena says, squeezing my hand. I just want to feel like my old self. I say. How do you feel, like inside your head? She asks. You mean, do I feel damaged from the torture? I ask. She looks away. I know she thinks this is her fault, but it's not. I feel fine, I just don't like feeling weak. I squeeze her hand. The doctor comes back and he takes me to another room for testing. I'll be back before you are even done with testing. Lena says and kisses me. Catalina's POV. Over the next few days, Andrew is tested by the doctors, Rachel tests our patients, and we try and get the packs back on track. Finally, the doctors are letting me out of here. Andrew tells his father. I'm sure you're happy about that. Raymond says. I will be happy to have you home. I say as I kiss his cheek. Andrew is up walking around and is finally getting some color. After the doctor does his final examination and releases Andrew, we head to the apartment. Andrew seems to be back to his old self, well, almost. I sometimes catch him daydreaming, which he never did before, but it's not too often. Just something new I noticed. Murphy and Rachel meet us at the apartment. I know Andrew is feeling guilty for the things he did while under the control of Dolus. Murphy visited a few times in the hospital, and Andrew acted a bit off around him. I need them to move past this. They are alpha and beta, they have work to do. And they are best friends. So I will sacrifice my sanity to force them to talk. Hey Rachel, can I steal you a moment to talk about wedding stuff with you? Rachel's face literally twitches with excitement and joy. Of course you can. She grabs my arm and drags me out of the room before I can say anything to Andrew. She drags me down to my studio. When we walk in, it's like no one has been in it in months. Oh yeah, the coma. She pulls me over to the couch. Okay, spill, why are we in here? She asks. Well, I'm glad to see I'm still transparent. Andrew and Murphy need to be alone together. I say. So they can express their undying love for each other. She asks, half joking. Well, kinda. I know Andrew feels bad about what he did to Murphy. They need to talk it out. I tell her. But Andrew didn't actually do it. He had like a parasite. She says. I know that, you know that, but Andrew still blames himself. I tell her. You're right. But promising wedding talk is a low blow. She says we can still talk wedding if you want to. I say. Really? Well, you guys really need to pick a date. I was thinking a month from now. She says. A month? Rachel, he hasn't even asked me yet. I just got him back, what's the big rush? I ask. He's going to ask. And no rush, we just need to do it soon. She says. Rachel, why? What's going on? I ask. Nothing. What? I am pregnant. She blurts out. I gasp. Really? I ask. She nods her head. No one knows yet. She says quickly. Oh Rachel, I'm so excited for you. Why didn't you tell me? I ask. I wanted to tell you after the wedding. And I want it soon so I'll still look good in the photos. She says. I start laughing. Gee, thanks. She says. No, not that you don't look good. It's that you will always look good. Even when you blow up like a balloon. I say, giggling. Her face looks shocked. I didn't even think of that. Oh goddess, what if I waddle? She says, which makes me laugh more. She hits my arm. Ow, no need to get violent. Now the rush makes sense. But Rachel, he has to be the one to ask me. Until then we can plan all day long but nothing will come of it. I say. Fine, then I'll just have to make him ask you. She says, looking mischievous. What are you going to do? I ask. I can't say. But leave it to me. She says. In the meantime we can finalize a few more things. I have pictures of sample invites. Which one do you like best? She shows me her phone with 4 sample invites. After a few minutes of looking at each one. I like this one. I say, pointing to the one at the top right corner. Really? Why? She asks. I like the colors and the font. I say. Interesting. Okay, great. Well, one more thing down. Should we go check on the guys? Rachel asks. Sure. I don't want to leave them together forever. I say. We get up and head back to the apartment. But when we get out into the hallway, we hear laughing coming from the library. Without a word, Rachel and I head to investigate. When we open the door we find Andrew and Murphy laughing and drinking. It's so easy for men to make up. I bet they just looked at each other and all was forgiven. Rachel whispers to me. I bet you're right. I whisper back. My love. Come join us. Andrew says. Should you even be drinking? I ask him as I walk over and sit on the arm of his chair. Come on, Lynn, it's been so long since we were all together without having to face doom. Can't we just enjoy this while it lasts? Murphy says. I can't say I love the new nickname. Fine. I'm not going to be the party pooper. But just take it easy, okay? You just came home from the hospital. I say. Fair enough. Andrew declares. The rest of the night was fun. Andrew only had 1 drink, I couldn't count Murphy's. Rachel had soda just so she wouldn't be the only one not drinking, and I had 2. We talked, played a few card games, and just had a good night. The next morning I woke up in Andrew's arms. I took a deep breath of his scent around me. It felt like it had been a lifetime since we slept together. I felt his arms around me and I buried my face in his chest. I never wanted to leave this moment. I felt his hand move and stroke my back with his fingertips. Good morning, my love. Oh, his husky morning voice. I have missed it. Good morning. I say back. I was thinking. He pulled me back to look me in the eyes. Why don't we go on a date tonight? It's been so long, and I think we both deserve it. I'd like that. I say and hug him. Good. Around 6. All right. I say. He starts to get out of bed. Where are you going? I whine and pout. I have some things I need to do today, but it won't be all day. He kisses my forehead and heads for the bathroom. Things to do today? I just got him back and he's already back to work. Ugh, this is not how I planned my day. Rachel. I call over Mind Link. Yeah. She responds. Andrew is leaving me for the day. Want to hang out? I ask. Don't you have your own alpha stuff to attend to? She asks. Ugh, why is everyone so responsible now? Fine, but will you at least help me get ready for my date tonight? I ask. Of course I will. What time? She asks. It's at 6. I will be there at 4. She says. Andrew comes out of the bathroom wrapped in a towel. Even though he still isn't back to his old self, he's still fine. I get up and head to the bathroom, my turn to get ready. I shower, brush my hair and teeth, and grab some clothes to wear. I need to meet up with Jet to talk about the pack. I pull on some jeans and a sweater. The weather is cold now and I hope it snows. I head out into the kitchen and grab a cup of coffee. I will be back around 5, okay? Andrew says. That is all day. I say. I don't want to get in the way of you getting ready. I know Rachel will be here at like 3 or something. He says. How do you know Rachel is coming over? I ask. He pulls me into him. Because I know you. And I know her. He says and kisses my forehead. While I don't think Andrews knows that she's pregnant, so who knows who, or is it whom? Whom cares? He heads out the door and I sit down to enjoy my coffee. Hey Jet. I Mind Link. Yeah. Can you meet me in my office in like 30 minutes? I ask. Sure. Also I kinda used your office while you were in a coma. He tells me hesitantly. I'm glad someone used it. I say. What am I going to walk into? I finish my coffee and head to my office. I walk in and notice it looks almost the same as I left it. The only difference is the chair at my desk and more papers. I sit down in the chair and notice a significant comfort level difference. This chair is definitely better than the chair I had before. I hear a knock at the door. Come in. I say. Jet walks in and takes a seat in front of me. I like the new chair. I say. Yeah, your old one was the worst. I'm surprised you didn't have back problems. He says with a chuckle. Yeah, just tell me about the pack and what's been going on. I say. We spent the next few hours going over pack stuff. Before I know it, it's almost 3. Wow, I can't believe it's almost 3. I say. Yeah, we didn't even stop for lunch. He says. We can stop for today. You should go eat. I tell him. All right. But you really need to think about who the new alpha should be. And they better get along with me. He says. I know he's trying to joke, but he's also serious. Don't worry, I'll make sure you get along. I say. Jet leaves the office and I head up to my apartment. Rachel should be here soon, but I am hungry. I made myself a sandwich while I waited for her. As soon as I'm done, Rachel comes through the door. Are you ready to get beautiful? She asks. I'm already beautiful. I say. That's beside the point. Let's start with the hair, she says. Rachel proceeds to do my hair, my makeup, and makes me try on 4 different outfits. We finally decided on a hunter green dress with black sequins. It was short with princess sleeves. Thank goodness I had a long black coat I could wear with it. Finally I'm done. And it only took 2 hours. I roll. But I will say, I feel absolutely beautiful. My hair is half up half down and curled. When I step out of the bedroom, Andrew is waiting for me. He is in a navy blue suit and white shirt, with 3 buttons undone. Yum. He looks so good I can't help but smile. Andrew literally circles me. You look perfect, he says as he wraps his arm around my waist. He leans down and kisses me. His other hand cups my face as my hands pull him into me from his suit jacket. He pulls away. Come on, let's go. He grabs my hand and leads me out of the apartment. We make our way out to the lobby where a car is waiting for us. So are you going to tell me where we are going? I ask as we get into the car. Nope. And the car drives off. We only drive for a bit before we arrive at our destination. When I get out I remember the restaurant. It's the one he took me to on our very first date. Our first date? I say. He smiles and nods. We walk in and just like before, no one is here. The only difference is I'm greeted first. Hi Alpha, Alpha. Your table is ready. The young woman leads us to a table. We take our seat and wine is brought out. It's the same wine as our first date. I figured you liked wine enough now to appreciate this, he says as he pours me a glass. We chatted about our day and about our future plans for the PAX. We had a really lovely date. After our meal we headed back to the car, which was now a limo. I looked at Andrew. The date's not over yet, he said, and opened the door for me. When we got in there were blankets, pillows, and snacks laying out. There was also a large TV in the limo. We have some time before our next destination, so I thought we could watch a movie, he says as he gets close to me. We snuggle up as the car drives to our next location. We decide to watch one of the Harry Potter movies, because it's the best. By the time the movie was over we were at our next stop. Now I need to blindfold you, he says. What? Why? I ask. It's a surprise, he says holding up the blindfold. I sigh but let him. He ties it around my eyes. He takes my hand and leads me out of the limo. He guides me over gravel and then through grass, then onto wood, I think. He stops me and places his hands on my hips. You ready? He asks. I giggle. Are you? I could hear his breathing pick up. He removes the blindfold and we are standing on a dock lit with candles and covered in flowers. I looked all around me. The moon was full and lit the lake. We were at the lake house. It was beautiful. The lake house had candles all over it. It was unreal. I looked back at Andrew and he was down on one knee. He took my hand in his. Catalina Black. Having you as my mate has been the best blessing of my life, but I know having you as my wife would be a miracle. Lena, will you do me the honor of being my wife? He says and opens a small wooden box holding a beautiful diamond ring. OMG, he's proposing. OMG, don't pass out. I'm feeling lightheaded. So soon. Oh goddess, he's staring at me. Say something, Lena. Andrew's POV. I have never been so nervous in my life to ask a question, but as I am kneeling my heart is racing. Why isn't she answering? Oh goddess, is she going to say no? Come on, Lena. Catalina's POV. Yes. I'm sorry, of course I will. Yes. I say as fast as I can. Andrew smiles and lets out a deep breath. He slides the ring onto my finger and stands to hug me. He picks me up and spins me around. I bury my head into his neck. I can't believe I'm getting married. I pull Andrew into a kiss and he gently places me back on the ground. I pull back from the kiss and take a look at the ring. Oh, it's beautiful and looks like an antique. There is a big circular diamond in the middle surrounded by smaller diamonds almost forming a flower shape. The band is white gold and thin, making the whole ring look delicate. It was my grandmother's. It's been passed down to my mother and now to you. I hope you like it. Andrew says. I love it. It means even more than just any ring. I say. I can't believe you did all this. Is this the alpha work you had to do today? I ask. What is an alpha without his Luna? He asks. We have the place to ourselves. He adds. I take Andrew's hand and lead him to the lake house. He picks me up and I wrap my legs around his waist as our lips crash into each other's. I feel his hands holding me up. I wrap my arms around his neck and pull him closer to me. He carries me up the stairs and to the front door. I felt him reach for the door handle and he carries me inside. Inside he pins my back up against the closed front door. His lips trail off my lips and down my neck. I open my eyes for the first time in the cabin and see it is covered in rose petals and candles. Andrew. I whisper. He pulls back and looks at me. You did all of this too? I ask. I slide off him and got a better look at everything. There was champagne chilling on ice with 2 glasses. Can we? I say, pointing to the champagne. He smiles and picks up the bottle. He pours us both a glass. To forever. He says. Forever. We touch glasses. I walk around the downstairs. You really did all this? I say. Andrew walks over to me. Well, I might have had some help. He says, drinking his champagne. I finish mine and he takes my glass. He helps me take off my jacket. He takes my hand and brings me closer to him. He cups my face in his hands and kisses me gently. Andrew wraps his arms around me, deepening the kiss. His kisses trail down my neck and a moan escapes my lips. Andrew lets out a small growl and picks me up. I take off his suit jacket and kiss his neck. I feel him walking upstairs. He carries me to a room and places me on the bed. We both came together. I am holding on to Andrew's back. He trails kisses back to my lips. He flips over and pulls me on top of him. I lay my head on his chest listening to his quick heartbeat. I missed this. He says. Me too. I agree. We lay there together for a bit, before I get up to go to the bathroom. When I get out of the bathroom, Andrew, can we go for a run in the morning? You haven't met Hope yet. I say. That sounds like a good idea. He says, kissing my forehead as I climb back into bed. Andrew gets up and puts on a pair of pants. Where are you going? I ask. Those candles aren't going to blow themselves out. He says. I giggle and grab a sweatshirt. I'll help. I say. We go downstairs and blow out all the candles. I grab some water and some chips. I worked up an appetite, and sat on the couch waiting for Andrew to come back in from blowing out the candles outside. Suddenly out of nowhere a flash of light and then Dolus appears. Hello Catalina, he says in his deep voice. What are you doing here? I look out the window to see where Andrew is, but I don't see him. I'm here to congratulate you. So you are going to marry the mortal? I'm sure nothing will go wrong there. He says. Dolus, may I remind you of our deal? I say sternly. He puts his hands up in surrender. I am not here to hurt you or anyone. I actually came here with information. He says. Then I see Andrew approaching the house. Can we meet about this later? I ask. I really don't want to ruin this moment with Andrew. Dolus hands me a smooth opal stone. Put it in water when you want to talk to me. He says with a smile and vanishes. What the heck was that? Just then Andrew walks in, rubbing his hands over his arms. It's gotten colder out there, he says, grabbing a blanket and throwing it around his shoulders. Do you want to watch a movie or go to bed? He asks. Let's watch a movie, I'm not tired enough for bed yet. I say. We cuddle up on the couch and watch a movie, all the while I'm thinking about what information Dolus could possibly have to tell me. Catalina's POV: I must have fallen asleep because I woke up in bed next to Andrew. I know it's early from where the sun is outside, so I don't want to wake him. I decide to take a warm bath while I wait for him to wake up. I get out of bed quietly so I don't wake up Andrew. I get to the bathroom and run a warm bath. I get undressed and get in. Hey Hope! You ready to meet your mate today? I ask. Yeah, I'm excited to stretch my legs. Do you think he'll like me? She asks. Of course he will. What's not to like? I know, I just wanted to hear you say it. Hope giggles to herself. Will you still be all white? I ask. Yes, silly. You are the white wolf even with me. She says. I wash my body and hair. I get out of the tub and wrap a towel around myself. I use another towel to dry my hair and walk out to the bedroom. "Aw, you got clean without me," Andrew says, rolling over in bed. "Well, I didn't want to wake you," I say. "I guess I'll just have to get you dirty all over again." He reaches for me and pulls me back into bed. He pulls me underneath him and I feel his weight on top of me. "No. You need to get clean too. Hope wants to run," I say, pushing my hands on his chest. "Are you sure? We can shower after I've had my way with your body." He kisses my neck. Oh, he knows my weakness. I clear my throat and try and sound serious. "Yes, I'm sure. Now go take a shower," I say. "Fine, but you don't know what you're missing." He gets up and heads to the bathroom. I might need a cold shower after that. I get out of bed and get dressed. I make my way down to the kitchen and to my surprise I see snow on the ground. Hope you get to play in the snow today, I say with excitement. I feel her excitement in the back of my mind. I can't wait, she says. I make Andrew and I some coffee. I hear him out of the shower getting ready. Andrew, it's snowed. I yell up the stairs. Really? He yells back. He comes downstairs and looks outside. Running in the snow is always fun. You ready to go? He asks. Sure, why not? I say. The sooner you shift the warmer you'll be, he tells me. He opens the front door and the cold air hits me and chills me down to my bones. I need to shift as soon as possible. We walk out to the tree line and I waste no time. I get undressed and shift into my wolf. Hope stretches her paws in the snow. I'm instantly warmer. It's my thick fur, Hope says. She's right. Andrew's wolf, Mark, comes out from behind a tree. Mark is just as big and beautiful as I remember. Hope goes up to him and rubs her nose on him. He rubs the side of his body onto hers. The snow crunching beneath our paws. Mark suddenly jumps back and crouches, wagging his tail. He hops around Hope in the snow. I think he wants you to chase him, I say. I think he wants to lose, Hope says. Mark takes off through the trees as Hope follows him. The cold air nips at my nose as we run through the forest. The soft snow crunching beneath my feet. The air smells so crisp and clean. Running in the snow is my new favorite thing. Hope was close behind Mark, but she wasn't trying too hard to catch him. Mark slows down when he comes to a little frozen brook. Mark sits down and Hope sits next to him. Hope takes a closer look at the frozen water. She can see the water crystals. Suddenly a snow rabbit comes out from behind a bush. The rabbit freezes when it sees us, then hops away. Mark nudges Hope and takes off running back towards the house. We get back to the tree line and I shift back and get dressed as fast as I can. I'm running back to the house. I'm too cold out here, I yell at Andrew. So you are going to leave me out here to freeze to death? He yells back. Then I have an idea. I take a deep breath and focus on a bush. Helia lights the bush on fire. There, so you don't die, I say as I run towards the house laughing. When I get to the house I run inside and look out the window for Andrew. I see him come out from the trees and warm his hands by the bush. Then Helia extinguishes the bush. Andrew runs towards the house. Where was this when we were blowing out all the candles? He asks as he stomps the snow off his boots. Honestly, I forget all the things I can do. I've only ever used Helia's powers in battles. I've never used them in my daily life before. I turn to the fireplace and focus, and Helia lights the fire. Oh, this will definitely be useful, I say. I agree. Andrew grabs a blanket and we cuddle up underneath it. We need to head back home soon. Why? I ask. I think someone has some planning to finish. Rachel. Yes, she's been texting me, he says. I haven't even looked at my phone. Now I'm scared to look, I say. She just wants to finalize everything so she can send out the invitations, he says. So she knows, I ask. She confessed why she was pushing so hard for the wedding and she helped me plan this. He admits. Oh, so you're marrying me so my friend doesn't look like a whale at our wedding. I say, folding my arms in front of me. I am marrying you because I love you and I want you to be mine in every possible way. Well, that's a good answer. I smile at him. Do we have to go back right now? No, we can wait until after we eat. That run worked up an appetite. What do you want for lunch? I ask. Let's make some pasta. Do you want chicken and Alfredo, or sausage and marinara? He asks. Definitely sausage and marinara. I say. Andrew gets up from the couch. Do you need help? I ask. You just relax. I've never fully cooked for you, and you should know what you are marrying. He smirks at me. I put on one of the Harry Potter movies and cuddle under the blanket. I hear Andrew working away in the kitchen and the smells coming out of there are heavenly. The more I smell, the more hungry I get. It's ready. I hear Andrew say after an eternity. Finally. I throw off the blanket and rush over to the table. Andrew laughs. Hungry. Starving. We sit down to the table. The food Andrew has made looks so good. We eat and drink some wine together. Being with Andrew is so easy. It's like being with a version of me. I love how our relationship has grown and I look forward to our future together. After lunch a car comes and picks us up to take us back to the pack house. The lake house has easily become my #1 favorite place now. The lake house holds all of my favorite memories. When we get back to the pack house, I'm not surprised to see Rachel waiting. She greets us at the lobby door with Flora and Sarah, all looking just as excited as the next. I am surrounded by them and their questions. How did he ask? Were you surprised? Can I see the ring? Where do you want to honeymoon? When will you have kids? When do you want the wedding? I tried to look over their heads for Andrew, but I'm not that tall. I regret coming home. They managed to usher me into the elevator and we head to one of the meeting rooms. Catalina's POV Rachel, Flora, Sarah, and I go through every single step of the wedding. Don't worry, I protested for Andrew to be part of the planning, but I was significantly overruled. We plan for a wedding for 3 weeks from now. Flora is getting the invitations out as soon as possible. We finalized the guest list, and apparently the whole world is coming to this wedding. I have never seen so many names for one event in my whole life. We picked the colors and the venue. All that is really left is picking the wedding dress and the bridesmaids' dresses. I obviously picked Rachel to be my maid of honor. I also picked Cassie from Emerald Stone Pack and Sarah from Red Stone Pack as my bridesmaids. I wanted to keep my wedding party small. Today my wedding party is going dress shopping and I'm excited to find my dress. Ready to go? Rachel asks me. Yeah, let's do this. I say and we head down to the lobby. Cassie and Sarah meet us in the lobby. You guys, I'm so excited. This is finally happening. Sarah says. I'm just happy to get a little break from Shiloh. He's adorable but a handful. Cassie says. I'm actually really excited too, you guys. And I'm glad everyone can make it. I say. Flora is meeting us at the shop. Rachel says as we all pile into the limo. Rachel pours us all a glass of champagne, and apple juice for her. A toast. She says. To our girl Lena. Life has been anything but boring since you've come into our lives and we wouldn't have it any other way. I know you and Andrew will live happily ever after. And I am so grateful to be a part of your big day. Rachel holds her glass of sparkling apple juice up. To true love. True love. Everyone clinks glasses. We sip on our champagne as Cassie tells us all about her adorable baby as we make our way to the shop. When we arrive we head inside where Flora is waiting for us. Ladies. Flora kisses each one of us on the cheek. Now Lena. There are a few dresses back there waiting for you already. Go try some on and we will see how everything looks and fits. Flora says, gesturing to a curtained area. I head to the curtain and peek inside. There are 4 dresses and a young woman waiting for me. Hi Alpha. She bows. Which one would you like to try on first? She asks. The first dress looks like a cake topper. It is covered in bows and ribbons. Tulle making the dress look huge. Not this one. Earning me a giggle from the girl. The next dress in like the complete opposite. It is a simple silk floor-length dress. Maybe. I say for that one. It might be too simple. The third dress has a off-the-shoulder lace top and lace overlay. It is floor-length and has quarter sleeves. This one. I say. The young lady nods and helps me get dressed. The dress is off-white, which actually goes perfect with my red hair and pale skin. Can wedding dress shopping really be this simple? Did I already find the dress? I stand there staring at myself in the mirror. The young girl looks at me and then leaves the curtain area. I know I'm supposed to go out there for everyone to see, but I don't want them to talk me out of this dress. The lace on the sleeves and top are so beautiful, this dress is perfect. The only alteration it would need is the length. It's a little bit too long. The young girl comes back with 3 veils. One had the same lace pattern as the dress but not the same color. The second one was long and sparkly. The third one was attached to a diamond headband. Let's try this one. The young girl says after holding up each one, next to my dress to compare. She landed on the one with the headband. Once she put it on, I knew we have found exactly what we were looking for. What do I do? This is obviously the dress, but it's the first one I've tried on. I say to the young girl. How about this? We wrap this dress up and have it sent over after we make a few alterations. In the meantime, try on these other ones and show them. Later tell them you have found your dress, but it's a surprise for everyone. The girl has a good plan. No need to spoil all their fun, they came to see dresses and that's what I'll show them. For the next 2 hours I tried on every dress they wanted, none looked as good as the first dress I tried. We left the store without a dress, but I wasn't worried. Over the next few weeks, everything comes together for the wedding. I told the girls I found my dress and wanted to surprise them. Rachel was a little concerned but trusts me. It's now 2 days before the wedding and I'm trying not to make myself nervous. I'm not nervous about being married, I'm nervous at the amount of people coming in for the wedding. We are having an rehearsal dinner tonight and a bachelorette and separate bachelor party tomorrow night, then the wedding. You okay, my love? Andrew asks at lunch. I'm fine, just a lot going on in my mind. I say. You aren't getting second thoughts, are you? Not at all. I'm just looking forward to the part where we are married and living our lives. I say. Me too. But I am excited to see everyone again under happy circumstances. Yeah, that will be nice. I say as I finish my sandwich. What else do you have planned today? I ask Andrew. We have 4 hours before the rehearsal and then we have the rehearsal dinner. The councilmen are coming in an hour, so just greeting them and the other guests. Councilman Eric is performing our wedding ceremony. Rachel wants me to look over the decorations in the Great Hall. I say. Why don't you go take a look, and when you are done meet me in the lobby for our guests? Alright, sounds like a plan. I give Andrew a kiss and we head out the apartment. We go down the elevator and I head to the Great Hall while Andrew starts talking to some people in the lobby. When I walk through the door my breath catches in my throat. I'm glad I'm seeing this before the rehearsal. The Great Hall looks like a large wooden cabin, a lot of exposed wood, and wooden ceiling rafters. There are 4 large chandeliers wrapped in green vines and white fabric and little lights draped across the rafters. Everything looks magical. The colors I picked were navy blue, maroon, and green. There are round tables around the room. The tablecloths are white and have maroon plates and blue napkins. They had skinny navy blue candles and in the middle was a bouquet of maroon, plum, and white flowers. The altar is a beautiful arch covered in maroon, white, and pink flowers and vines going up and around it. I never imagined my wedding would look this beautiful. As I walk through the room my eyes kept finding new things to geek out over. Everything is so beautiful. Lena. Rachel says, not as excited as usual. Are you okay? I ask. This morning sickness is no joke. There's no reason it's called morning sickness when it all day. But I'll be fine. She leads me back to the altar. What do you think? More flowers? Or should we weave lights through it? Honestly, I think it looked perfect. Everything looks so good, Rachel. Let's go look at the bride and groom table. It's not done yet and it definitely needs something. She leads me to a 2-person table on a small platform. The bottom front of the table was covered in maroon, plum, white, and pink flowers. Behind the table was a curtain of lights and a few flowers. The tablecloth was navy blue with a gold runner. Seriously, Rachel, what more could a girl want? Well, for starters, red or white candles. White. Okay, do you want a Mr. and Mrs. sign anywhere? We can put it on the back of the chairs, front of the table, or back on the wall. What color is the sign? Gold. Let's put it on the wall. I say. Perfect. Well, add more flowers and the sign. See, it did need more. I roll my eyes. Whatever you say, Rachel. Anything else you want to look at or change? She asks. Rachel, everything looks beautiful and I never imagined my wedding would look like this. I am beyond grateful for you and everyone that has helped. I pull her into a hug. Oh honey, of course. You deserve it. We pull back from our hug. So who all knows you are pregnant? I don't want to accidentally spill the beans. Well, you, Andrew, Murphy, of course. But that's pretty much it. We wanted to wait until after the wedding to tell his parents. His mom would be all over me as soon as she finds out. I need time before I'm watched like a hawk. We laugh at each other. What's so funny, girls? Sarah, Rachel's mother-in-law, asks. Nothing. We both say at the same time, making us both laugh again. Well, I am going to go help Andrew greet our guests and get ready for the rehearsal tonight. I'll see you then. I hug Rachel again and head to the lobby. Catalina's POV: I walk out to the lobby to see Andrew speaking with the councilman, right on time. I walk over to them and greet them. So glad everyone could make it. We wouldn't miss it for the world. Besides, we need to come and discuss your council training. Eric says. Council training? Yes, you will need to come to the Citadel for training. George explains. How long is training? Andrew asks. Oh, just 6 to 8 months. 6 to 8 months. Andrew and I say in unison. I look at Andrew with worry on my face. Don't worry. We spoke and you don't have to come right away. However, you won't be able to sit on the council until you have completed training. George explains. We'll figure it out, love. Andrew says, placing a hand on my shoulder. I wrap my arm around his waist and hug him. I don't ever want to leave him again. My dear, don't worry, we will figure it out. Eric says. I smile and nod. Let's just get you two married and we will worry about the red tape later. He adds with his own smile. Andrew walks them over to the elevator when I see Alistair across the room. Andrew picked Murphy as his best man, Todd, and Alistair for his groomsmen. I am not surprised he didn't choose Jet, but he did make him and Mateo ushers during the ceremony. Hey Alistair! I say, pulling him into a hug. Hey, hi Alpha, or should I say bride-to-be? He teases. I'm just excited to get this show on the road. Well, the rehearsal is only a few hours away. Who am I walking down with again? He asks. Sarah. I look around the lobby to see if I see her. I don't see her, but I'll introduce you later on. I say. Alistair. Glad you could make it. Andrew shakes his hand. Well, I'm in the wedding, how could I not make it? Alistair says. Let's go up and meet Murphy in the library, Todd should be here soon. Andrew and Alistair disappear up the elevator. Library, my butt, they are going to have drinks. I want to have drinks, but Rachel and Cassie are out. That leaves Sarah. Sarah. I mind link her. Hey Lena, what is it? Where are you? I'm pulling up now, is something wrong? The lack of drink in my hand. I hear her laugh. I see her walk through the door and she comes running towards me. Her arms wrap around me and she almost takes me to the ground. Well, let's fix this problem. Where to? Let's go to the apartment and have some wine. Sarah agrees and follows me up. When we get to the apartment, I grab us 2 glasses and pour us some wine. I hand her a glass and join her on the couch. So what's wrong? She asks. What makes you think something is wrong? For 1, your eyebrows, 2, the wine, and 3, your eyebrows. I sigh and relax my face. I just found out I have to go to council training for 6 to 8 months. Ouch, when? She asks. They said there's no rush, but I can't officially sit on the council until I do. So just take some time after the wedding to be married. She wiggles her eyebrows and elbows me in my arm at the word married. Then just go get the training. I'm sure you can have visitors or go away for a weekend. And with technology you can FaceTime every night. It will be okay, Lena. If there's couple that can survive anything, it's you guys. She's right, we can do this. It's just 6 months. I took a sip of my wine. Lena, where are you? Cassie asks in my mind link. In the apartment drinking wine with Sarah. Good, my sister is with me and she could use a glass. Cassie and her sister are coming up. I tell Sarah. Have you met her sister before? Sarah asks. No, but she'll be my cousin through marriage. Sarah and I drink our wine and talk about any changes at Redstone Pack. I haven't seen Jet in like 2 weeks. Sarah says, just as Cassie and her sister walk in. Cassie. I say, getting up from the couch. Lena. She wraps me in a big hug. Lena, this is my sister Poppy. It's so nice to meet you. Would you like some wine? Yes, please. I go grab another glass and pour some wine into it. I hand it over to Poppy. Poppy drinks it down in one big sip. You okay? I ask. Weddings always get me this way. Still no mate? She says, taking a seat on the couch. Well, I'm mateless too. Don't stress about it. Sarah says. Yeah, but are your parents constantly comparing you to your perfect sister? Sorry, I don't want to be a downer. What were you guys talking about before we came in? We were talking about my other pack and my beta, Jet. I say. You are the alpha of another pack, Luna to this pack, and the high alpha. Now I really feel like an underachiever. Poppy gets up from the couch and heads for the wine. Sarah and I giggle. Suddenly the door flies open as Rachel makes her way inside. So here is where you all are hiding. Not hiding, drinking. I say. All the boys are in the library doing the same thing. And surprise, surprise, Jet is with them. Why is that a surprise? You said he's your beta, right? Poppy asks. Andrew and Jet don't really get along. It's a long story. One we don't have time for, because you need to get ready. Rachel says. She takes my arm and leads me to the bedroom. It's just the rehearsal, Rach, not the actual wedding. I say. Yes, but there will still be pictures taken and a dinner afterwards. It won't kill you to look nice. I always look nice. Let's just change dresses, fix your hair, and clean up your face. And maybe change your shoes. I sigh and roll my eyes. I let Rachel pick out a tight white turtleneck sweater dress. It only came down to my mid-thigh. I'm going to be freezing in this. Okay, high boots or tights? Tights. Rachel picked a pair of thighs and black booties with a bit of a heel. I got dressed and she put my hair up as a messy ponytail. She touched up my makeup and went for a natural look. See, done. That wasn't too bad. Just wait for the wedding day. She moves her eyebrows up and down. Can't wait for that. This time I grab Rachel's arm to head back out to the girls. When we walk out I see Andrew, Murphy, Alistair, Todd, and Jet have joined us. But something is wrong, the guys have stopped at the front door and the girls are just standing and staring at the guys. What's going on? I ask as I walk over to the girls. Suddenly Jet rushes out of the room and Poppy starts crying. Then it all makes sense, they're mates. Poppy is being looked after by her sister, I need to get to Jet. I head for the door, I need to talk to him. I say to Andrew. He just nods. I head out the door, where to look? He didn't go down the elevator, it's still at this floor. I head to the library and it's empty. I look in the gym, also empty. I check the theater next and I find him sitting in the dark. I take the seat next to him. Jet. Yeah, it's me. Are you okay? I messed up, Lena. What did you mess up? Did you see? I was just frozen and then I ran away. I just didn't expect to find another mate. I was prepared to be alone forever. Jet, you didn't mess anything up. I'm sure once you explain everything to her, she'll understand. She's been waiting for a mate her whole life. And you will be an amazing mate for her. But what if I'm not a good mate and that's why Julie turned out the way she did? I thought you were going to stop blaming yourself for Julie. I can't help it. I don't want to admit it, but I'm worried. I don't think I can live through something like that again. I know, Jet. But you have to talk to her. And I have a plan. Come on. I grab his hand and pull him out of the seat. Cassie? I think we need to leave Jet and Poppy alone for a bit. He has a lot of explaining to do. I agree. Can you bring her to the library? We're on our way. I drag Jet to the library. I don't know if more drinking is a plan. Jet says. That's not the plan. This is. I point to the door and in walks Cassie and a sobbing Poppy. I see Jet's body tense up. Poppy tries to control her crying. Poppy. Cassie and I will leave you two alone to talk this out. Is that okay? I ask her. She wipes her face and nods. Cassie and I leave the room and close the door behind us. He better not ruin this. Cassie says. He's worried. After what happened with Julie. He thinks it was his fault. That is the only reason I didn't kick him. I wrap my arm around her shoulder. How sweet of you. I know. Now let's go get this rehearsal started. After 20 minutes, we finally managed to get everyone down to the Great Hall for the rehearsal. I love looking at everyone's face as they enter. Honestly, I did another look around at how beautiful everything is. Okay everyone, let's get into the beginning position. Eric yells from the altar. Andrew is standing next to him with a grin plastered on his face. The music starts, it's the How Long Will I Love You song from the movie About Time. Murphy and Rachel walk down first, then Todd and Cassie, followed by Sarah and Alistair. I asked Raymond to walk me down the aisle, and he of course agreed. I wrapped my arm around Raymond's. You ready? He asks. I just take a deep breath and nod. We walk down the aisle and my eyes are glued on Andrew. I know this is only the rehearsal, but it feels like the moment. When we get to the end, Raymond kisses my cheek and puts my hand in Andrew's. I step in front of Andrew and smile at him. This is the part where I say all my lines and marry you crazy kids. Do you plan to say your own vows? Yes we do. We say together. That makes my job easier. So once I pronounce you man and wife, you kiss and then the bride and groom will exit first followed by the maid of honor and best man, and so on. Andrew leads me back down the aisle followed by everyone else. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the show more or less. Any questions? No? Good, now let's go eat. Eric says and everyone cheers. Andrew holds my hand as we head out to the lobby and into a limousine that is waiting for us. Andrew and I get in first. Murphy, Rachel, Todd, Cassie, Alistair, and Sarah all join in our vehicle. Of course Murphy finds the champagne and pops it open, then he grabs a small bottle of sparkling cider for his wife. Rachel passes out glasses. Once everyone has some, Murphy raises his glass. A toast. To our dear friends Andrew and Lena. I hope your marriage is better than mine. Rachel jabs Murphy in his side with her elbow. Everyone erupts with laughter. I'm just kidding, there is no possible way to have a better marriage than ours. Murphy kisses Rachel's cheek. But seriously, I wish you both the best. Together forever. Murphy says and we all cheers our glasses. The car pulls up to the restaurant. We get out of the car and go straight into the restaurant. It was freezing outside. Inside the restaurant, Flora, Lilith, all of the councilmen, Gamma Lucas, and Mateo were all waiting for us. I went around the room hugging everyone who has come and we all take a seat. The table is beautifully decorated with the colors of the wedding. Everyone was in such a good mood and the restaurant smelled like amazing, like garlic and seared meat. Andrew had his hand on me the whole night and I didn't mind one bit. Halfway through Jet and Poppy showed up, looking much better and with smiles on their faces. I get up and hug Poppy. How are we doing? I pull back from my hug and look at both of them. Poppy smiles and takes Jet's hand. He explained everything to me and I have to say I completely understand. I can't believe everything you both have been through. I wonder what all he told her, but I'm glad they are better. They both deserve to be happy. Great. Come on and grab a seat. Everyone is just telling funny stories about each other. I say, ushering Poppy to a seat near Cassie. I head back to my seat. Well, I don't have many stories of either Andrew or Lena, however the first night I met Andrew will always stay in my memory. Alistair starts. He had been drinking with his warriors. Then suddenly he starts singing, and it's not good. And he wouldn't stop singing until he completely passed out at the table. I had to carry him to bed. The table cracks up with laughter. Sing for us, Andrew. Murphy teases. No, on your life. Andrew laughs. The rest of the night was much the same and filled with laughter. When the dinner was over, Andrew and I headed back to our apartment. How was your evening, my love? Andrew asks. It was really nice. How was yours? One of the best. He squeezes my hand. Are you ready for bed? I ask. Actually, there is one thing I've been wanting to do all night. Andrew pulls me in and kisses me. His hands cup my face and he deepens the kiss. He picks me up bridal style and carries me to the bedroom where I come undone over and over again. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.